Let's take a closer look at the Examine Patterns option in the Efficient Cause Analysis for paired orderings. So I'll select the button here to open up the options window. Now I've already maximized it here because I've been here before. So I've maximized it, and let's go ahead and get some data to look at. So we'll take a look at the feeling anxious ratings. We've covered these data in previous videos. Now you'll notice a variety of options here where you can change the appearance of the graph. So for example, we have this font size. So if you want to magnify the graph, you can use this double-headed arrow to increase the font size. So notice how it's obviously magnifying the graph. I can decrease it and so forth. You have these lines, color, and grid options. So if I select the grid option, it will remove the grid. The color option, I can change it to a black and white presentation. If I want to change the presentation of the graph from these points and lines, I can select the lines option. Now notice here, again, it's changed from lines to points. And notice that we have green where we have overlap between the observations, and then the red is the cause, the blue is the effect. If I go back to lines, you can see what's going on here. So notice the feeling for day 1 was rated as an 8. The stress for that day was rated as an 8 as well. So you have overlapping observations there. So again, if I go back, turn off the lines, you see that green square. Turn on the grid, it might show you more clearly what's happening here. So here we have overlapping observations, and then again, we see the red and the blue decrease, they increase, and so forth. Go back to the lines here. Now you can also lag the effect in time. I've covered this in a previous video, but just watch the blue line as I continually select this arrow. Notice the blue line is moving to the left. So I am lagging the effect in time. So notice here the feeling on day 1 is now meshed up with the stress on day 9. So maybe it takes 8 days for the stress to show up as the effect from the cause, which is here the feeling of anxiety. That doesn't make a lot of sense for this particular study, but nonetheless you can, going the wrong way there, you can lag the effect in time. I'll just put it back to the original presentation. Effect lag equals 0. You can choose a particular line of data to look at by using this pull down menu. So here we can look at feeling incompetent. We can pull down, look at feeling nervous, and so forth. You can also just type in the number of the row you want to examine, or you can use this double-headed arrow, again, to just scroll through the different lines of data. Now you can save the image by selecting this button, and this will save as a Windows metafile, a .emf file. And you can edit that file. You can import it into PowerPoint or Word and then change the presentation of the figure. You can print the image by selecting this button. And then these options are your statistics that are reported for the particular data that you're looking at. So notice here we have number correct, 23 out of possible 48 correct. That gives us a percent correct classification of 47.92%. Again, let's go ahead and change that and go back to the anxiety. And now notice it's 35 out of 50 correct for this particular feeling. And then we get a PCC of 70%. The imprecision index was set as 0, 1,000 randomized trials, and then the chance value here is less than 0.0001. Now these statistical results are based on the options that you've chosen for the analysis. So let me close this and take note of the options that we've chosen. Here's numbers, adjacent only, and so forth. I'm going to change this to full, and let's go back to the Examine Patterns here and turn the grid off just for aesthetic reasons. Can magnify it. It didn't save the options there, and we'll go to feeling anxious. Now notice the PCC is 69.08. With the other chosen option there, adjacent only, it was 70%. So the statistical results you're getting here are dependent upon the options that you've chosen for the analysis. But nonetheless, once you've chosen your options, you can just scroll through the various lines of data and examine the patterns visually, which is the most important thing to do. And then you can also examine the PCC index, and if needed, you could look at the chance value as well.